All right, this is a quick little guide on NWDB.info. It's a fantastic little website that contains basically all the information that you need to know in regards to New World, to be able to look up stuff and everything you need. So the URL is pretty basic, NWDB.info. Save it, open it up in a new monitor. You can look stuff up. I'm going to go through it real quick here. Feel free to play this back again if you need stuff. Things to keep in mind is up here, make sure that you always choose live. PTR is it will pull off information that is on the playtest server, so we don't really are not worried about that right now. We'll focus on live. Everyone knows the server status. You can click on server status and it will tell us the details. Since we're in Marima, we can see that right here. Now I can use the search filter here to search for it myself, and we can see a couple of things. One, it's online. We can see the world set. Why the world set is important is you can't have two characters in the same world set. Okay, we know the region, and these little bars shows us the population. So at its lowest amount in the last 24 hours, there still was like 600 and some odd people at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. this morning. As of right now, there's 2,415 people on and one person in queue for whatever reason. So that's a neat little section. If you sign in and create an account, there is a thing called the recipe tracker, which allows you to look up recipes, and you can just check mark that says, "Hey, I've learned this." It comes in handy because the game itself doesn't have a great way to track that. If you want to test out your skills, you can go to Skill Builder and just say, "Okay, well, let's see what let's build out a spear," and you're just going to click the points as it goes down, just like you would normally in games. So as you can see, that things start to light up as I go, and then that way you can kind of see, and you can read the abilities too, like deal increasing damage against targets with active grit. Gives you a nice little URL that you can share this with people for your build, or you can just take a screenshot. So I'm not in here very often for this part. Tables are all the tables that you need. So, for example, character level. How much experience do you need in total? How many attribute points do you get? And what is your respec cost? So here you can see our respec cost up until 20th level is pretty much free, and then it starts to increase. And again, this is all in Azoth. So, I mean, even at maximum at 60, we do this all the time and it has no effect. Actually, I think it's gold. But yeah, so it's still pretty dirt cheap. Um, any chart that you want to look at is all going to be here. We have Umbral Shards, which you don't have to worry about until you're level 60. Your Weapon Mastery, so how much experience you need to level up a particular weapon up to maximum 20. And then its respec cost. Territory standing. This one's crazy because it tells you the choices that you can do. So if there's a territory that you really want to focus on, you can at least spend time doing that here. You got level experience in total, and it goes on forever. There's 300 levels, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. Crafting, crafting experience. These are tables. We're not here for tables. What we really want, there's two key sections that you're going to spend most of the time in. One is guides. So every once in a while, you're going to pop in here and see what guides there are. This Ultimate Healer Handbook, although it's a couple of months old, is still fantastic. There's lots of great stuff in there. How to level up fast. That was done in March. And it's a video one, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Vista locations. Vista. The other day, I had everybody go on and it's like, hey, we grabbed a painting for our house. That's called the vistas. So you can use this to find all the maps, or sorry, all the paintings in the world. So always, keep your eyes on the quests in here. Like nice little leveling guide here from December. Still mostly accurate. But anytime that there's a new kind of event, you'll see stuff in here. The key is this is going to be this database. On the left hand side, you're going to see you can break it down to as much as you want. You got your items, recipes, abilities, perks, anything in the game you want to search up, you can find here. Often enough, what we do is we're looking under items to see what's in the game, and we'll just go under weapons. So you can see I'm just expanding it and I'm choosing the item. So if I'm looking for a hatchet, I can click on hatchet. All the hatchets are going to show up here. Now, I can use this top bar to break it down even further. So I'm going to say at my level, I want to see only the tier 5 stuff. Okay, there's still lots. Man, well, you know what? I only want to see the legendaries. There's still lots. So I can say, well, how about the ones that give me a bonus to strength? And then so it keeps filtering it out. And you can even go down to perks and say, oh, how about one that has, let's see, empowered maybe. What's a good one here? So all the different stuff is on here. And you can even search REF. Let's just go refreshing. So here we go. Here's all the tier 5 legendary refreshing hatchets. It does tell you a couple of perks here through the icons and what gem it first comes with. It gives you the name. If you mouse over it, you can see, okay, here's the details. The gear score shows you that the drop range that this could come from. So this is all the details you still have in the game. So 10 strength, 20 intelligence. It's electrified. It's refreshing. It has exhausting infected throw. It has chain of fire, and it's bind and equip. So that's a cool one because it tells us, hey, this is farmable and resellable. Okay. Now, if I want more info, I can actually click on this, and it's going to tell me the same thing. But if I scroll down a little bit further, I can see comments, salvage drops contained in, gathered from, and dropped by. So if I just choose drop by, I can see, okay, well, it's a lot of black alligators who range from level 59 plus in level 60 zones. So it's not a named guy, it's a random drop that can come from. But when I click on it, I get this nice little screen about the black alligator that's telling me it's here. And I can scroll in on this map and say, oh, I want to be farming this particular area in Eden Grove for black alligators until I get this. And then just the way the database interacts is once you're here, we're not looking at the hatchet anymore. We're looking at the black alligator. It's going to tell us the possible drops. And we can even just say, let's change the rarity to legendary. You can see those guys have a fair amount of legendary drops they can provide. So this is really handy. We spend a lot of time in here. One thing I'll show you too is if we go to weapons, in this case I'm going to go to Great Axe and I'm going to change the acquisition. So acquisition is how do we get this? Is this from PvP? Is this from crafting? Is this a quest or is it a drop? I'm going to choose crafting for a second because you see a little icon shows up next to it with the gear icon. And what I'm looking for here is this Orchid Great Axe. So this is something that that any weapon crafter can create. And you'll see the second I select on something like this, we have tiers. So here's the star metal, here's a steel, here's an iron great axe. So if the item has tiered, you can go through it and see. If the item is part of a weapon set, you can see all of them here. This one's technically not, but in this case, it's showing us all of the stuff for all the different weapon sets. We go down, it's going to tell us a random attribute, random perks, random gem, random perk, random perk. So if I scroll down even further, I can see the perk bucket. So the attribute, the perk, the gem, the perk, and the perk. So it shows you what are the chances of you getting any of these. This is a crafted one. What I really like about this is I can go to crafting recipes and it tells me here's the recipe for an Orchid Great Axe. And if I click on it, I can see, well, the crafted item is one of the great axes. I need 15 tier 5 metals, 3 refined wood, and 2 letters, which is the Orchid ingots, the iron plankwoods, and infused leather. This is great for when you start looking at things that you want to get and checking out the ingredients. You can use this to help determine what sort of items you're going to farm and what sort of items that you need. So if we look at, like, say, for example, well, a great axe, hey, strength is great. If we mouse over the soldier ability, right? So the soldier ability is going to add 24 strength. You're going to see the crafting mod is iron battle metals. You probably already have some of these, right? So these are actually worth a fair amount of money. So the iron battle metal, it's going to give plus 25 strength to any armor. Sword and shield is going to get 15, and then any weapon is plus 30. What does that mean? It means when the crafter goes to craft that there's a special slot where they can add one of these resources, one only, to guarantee a certain effect and ability. So if you have a whole bunch of iron battle metals, you can sit there and craft, 10 axes and see if you get decent abilities. And this, again, like I said, this helps you to say, okay, well, I'm going to save all my iron battle metals. And then again, we got more details down at the bottom. What are they contained in? What are they gathered from? Who drops them? Used recipes. So really, they're contained in all sorts of caches. They're gathered from all sorts of supply crates. So, yeah, you're level 9, you can start getting this stuff. So this is the New World database. It's super handy to look stuff up. You've got cosmetics, armor, tools, consumables, resources, housing. So when I want to know if one person can use a certain tier of food, I can go consumables, food, and then let's just say under acquisition, I go crafting. Here's energizing light rations. If I mouse over it, you'll see down at the bottom the maximum stack is 100, crafted at kitchen tier 2. Somewhere around here, it should tell us the level. And I don't think it will because it's a tier 1 item. So if I scroll down, here's a level 2 roasted squash. Yeah, required level 5 down at the bottom. So that's where you can see this information. Well, if I go, okay, well, what's in roasted squash? Well, probably squash. But if I scroll down and I look at crafting recipes, here's the recipe for roasted squash. I need 1 squash, 1 seasoning blend, 1 butter, and 1 cooking oil to make just one. And you can see, oh, well, it's pointless because this seems to be disabled in game right now. But here's where you can find all that information. Ammo, blueprints, dyes, recipes. You want to look up abilities. You want to look up creatures. It's all here. And the crazy thing is you just leave it under all items, and you can just search for it at the top. So let's see. SCRU. Let's go rabbit. So I can't spell scrumptious. There we go. There's the scrumptious rabbit. So just by typing it in at the top, I can jump straight to it and find what I need. All right, that is it for NWDB.info. The next one we're going to review is the interactive map.